Hi, Arthur. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing, man?
Good. Thank you for having me. Sure.
Beautiful. And thank you for being here, honoring the invite. It means a whole lot. Thank you so very much. Okay, Arthur, I am quite excited to have you on the show for some reasons. All right. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order to transition from a chaotic situation to that of a beautiful one, it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And the second reason why I'm excited to have Arthur on the show is for the sake of the listeners now, the audience, the ones who are going to be listening to our conversation. I believe there are some things that Arthur knows that some of my audience needs to hear you say these stuff directly from your mouth in order for them to experience transformation. I firmly believe that. And lastly, that is me. You know, I am convinced that I'm definitely going to learn one or two things from your story, insights, and experiences. So right now, I want you to view me and the audience by the time they will listen to our conversation as your student. Our teacher, and I want to learn from you. Okay, so for that reason, Arthur, let us get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your journey, how you got here, and afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Are you good to go?
Yeah, I am. I think our connection isn't the greatest, but
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Okay. So like I said, let's get started with your introduction, your journey, how you got here. And afterwards, I've got some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Arthur, over to
Okay.
you.
So I've, I was born in Ukraine. My parents got divorced when I was 6, I believe. Um, we moved to Israel, then we came to Canada. So immigration upon immigration upon immigration. Um, you know, I was growing up just without very much of a path. I wasn't really sure where I was going. I was a horrible student. There was literally nothing that was interesting me in school until I actually started in grade 11 or 12 doing business courses, and all of a sudden my grades spiked up. Uh, yeah. Um, when I was in high school, I also noticed uh, my economics professor was always in the library during lunch. So I came up to him and asked him what was he was doing, and he basically showed me that he was trading online. And this is going to date me because this was 2000, and he was making more money day trading than he was teaching. I was like, whoa, this is different. How come I've never heard of this before? So yeah, I was right away hooked on stock trading or trading in general. I didn't know that there was many different things. And through the rest of my life, every time I would do something, I would always kind of get brought back to trading. Uh, Around 2018, I was told, you always keep doing this, but you're never taking trading seriously. So either commit to this and be disciplined and learn and get it done, or stop this nonsense. Unfortunately, all the books, all the movies, all the TV shows out there show trading to be, uh, you know, a hunch or I had a gut feeling and no discipline whatsoever. Just go willy nilly and trade. And that's what I was doing. And it wasn't until I started taking it seriously and learning, I realized that, oh, this is the most disciplined field there is. I mean, I don't know any other field where you could just decide one day I'm going to be a trader and open an account and be a trader the next day. You can't do that as a doctor or a lawyer. I mean, you could, but you'll be in jail real quick. um, So yeah, I was struggling quite a bit and fighting the whole, being organized and disciplined and fighting it quite a lot. I mean, I think I blew up a bunch of little accounts. As my journey continued, I was sent and given advice to go take courses about personal development. I'm like, what is this? Why am I wasting my time with personal development? I need a strategy to make money and let's go. Um, but no, my performance coach told me, just trust me, just take this course. You'll understand why later. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll waste a couple hours, not a problem. First hour, I'm like, this is such garbage. This is unbelievable. Waste of my time. And then something woke up and I was like, oh, wait a second. They were talking about one of the things that they were talking about is that there's something in me that would sabotage success. Something that was protecting me from getting hurt, but in the same sense, it was sabotaging me because what it was protecting me is my fear of success, my fear that if I were to succeed and get into the spotlight, would I still be able to handle it? You know, is 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 what I'm doing a fluke or is it repeatable? And because I wasn't sure, my self beliefs were protecting me and as a result sabotaging me. And I had to have a little discussion with them to say, hey, give me a chance. I know you're here to protect me, but give me a chance to do it my way. And if I fail, then you can come back. It's a weird exercise, but apparently it worked because in 2022 I finished in the top 10 in the U.S. trading investment competition. Uh, in a year that the market was down 20%, I finished up almost 40.
Oh,
So obviously it worked.
amazing.
Yeah, and for the last year and a half, I have been actually, you know, coding and automating the strategies that brought me that success because I wanted to spend more time, giving back to the community, charity work, and all that stuff, and I didn't want to be stuck around a computer the whole day. So finally, all that finished. I just launched a month ago my private fund and stuff, but yeah, it was all goes back to that whole little exercise of discipline, or discipline and protection from harm. Interesting path. Wouldn't find that in any other book. So yeah,
Mm,
which
wow.
also led. Sorry, and I guess that's what led down the path of a religion, because I was sitting there, and my rabbi asked me, "So, what do you do, and how do you believe in it?" And I'm like, "Well, I believe because it's proven, and someone they did 800 years worth of research on this strategy of trend following, and it works." And he just looked at me, and I was like, "Oh my God, here I am. I believe into a strategy of 800 years, but the Torah, the Bible, is way longer than that." I'm like, "How am I believing one and not the other?" So yeah, that definitely brought me back into a path of religion again, which was very good because it feels more comfortable, more, and yeah, and living the wonderful life after that.
Your story is a very inspiring one. And I think it is important to surround oneself with folks who would push you to success. Folks who are concerned about your progress there. And the fact that you said they should allow you do it your own way. And if you fail, then you can come back. That's a great one. You know,
Hmm.
I feel like your story is a very powerful one and it is truly inspiring. Because the very first time I tried to trade, I can't even remember what I did. Oh man, it was painful because it was loss upon loss and all of it was just red and red and red. I was like, what the heck? What's going on here? This is tough, man. So that's how I feel like listening to someone who has profound insight as to how this thing works now. It's very educating. So that's going to lead to the very first question. Are you ready?
Hmm.
Okay. Can you talk to us about the psychological aspect of trading and investing?
So those are two big different animals, and I think for the sake of our short time, I think we need to pick one or the other because they go down different paths. So
Okay,
which
okay.
one
Let's
would
take let's
you think
take
would
trading.
benefit
Let's
more?
take trading.
Okay,
Trading.
trading, not a problem. So most people, when they think trading, they're wondering how much money they're gonna make and what stock they're gonna pick and everything else, and they forget about the fact that they are falling into um, the marketing of all the brokers and educators and stuff like that, of the fact that, hey, I can make $1 million overnight. And that is far from the truth, unfortunately. The successful traders are the ones who don't try to predict the future. They just know that there is an edge in their trading strategy. They don't know which next stock is going to be the big winner, but they know that most stocks that win do the following things, X, Y, Z. So when as any stock does that, they buy a little piece of it and add it to the portfolio. And basically, they could have 100, 150, 200 different stocks happening. Obviously, this is hard to do manually. You have to do it with automation, but yeah, uh, you buy and you have strict risk management, making sure that you never are too exposed or have too much money at risk with any one investment, and yeah, let your winners run and cut your losers really quickly, which is quite the opposite of human nature, because human nature tries to avoid loss. So people are like, well, I'll let this one come back and stuff like that, which is really horrible. And when they do have profits, they want to take them as quickly as possible, which is again the wrong thing to do, because the winners are the ones you got to run. It's almost like in poker, you always see on TV shows about how they made the craziest play. They won with a 7-2, which is the worst hand in poker, and they won. But what you don't see is that those are not the people who survive the longest. The professionals are the ones who, take their a little winners and take their time and are very disciplined and make their money consistently, as opposed to uh, those highlight reels. So yeah, you have to be very disciplined. In fact, there are strategies proven that show that it doesn't even matter what you enter into or what price you enter into or what you buy, as long as they actually did a study and they used a flip of a coin, buy, sell. As long as the how much you risked was, the proper sizing, it actually showed that it made money. Not a lot of money, but it made money blindly. So imagine if you start adding a little of your own personal rules into it, all of a sudden you can make money. Just keep your ego at the door is the big thing.
Keep your ego at the door. I got that. I got that. Okay, we have just two more to go. I believe there are folks who are currently in a terrible state of financial setback. Now, how do you think these folks can learn on how to recover, from financial setback? Can you talk to us about it?
Well, it won't be through trading. I'll tell you that much. Financial setbacks happen all the time. It's a unfortunate situation, but that happens. I mean, if it's a financial setback, due to health or external forces, it tests your resolve. I mean, you have a choice. You can go down to the basement, or like mental basement, and cry, "Woe is me!" and "Why is this happening to me?" and "I'm a victim." Or you could take a different approach where you say, everything that happens in this world happens because of me, not to me, and get up, dust yourself off, and go back to the grind that is that you're passionate about. Just make sure that whatever you're doing or hope that you're doing is aligned with your passion, because unlike motivation, passion is what gets you going when you know everything hits the fan. Motivation is like a shower. As a lot of people say, it's like a shower. You need one of those twice a day. Um, it's short term and causes doubt when the days get tough. But yeah, if you align purpose with what you're doing, all of a sudden, you get up in the morning. Like I get up in the morning at 5 a.m. most of the times, like ready to go, excited. Uh, Obviously, the first thing I do is I go pray to God to start my day. But after that, I'm just, get working, grinding away, getting things done. Horrible things, paperwork, dealing with things. But I know that my goal, this is on the path to it. And I mean, I took an example from uh, different people. This is a thing from Grant Cardone. It says, write out your goals and keep them right next to you. So every day I write out my goals, my 5 years out the line. So when things get tough and I'm ripping my hair out because of some setback or redundancy or why am I even doing this, I look at it and say, yeah, okay, I get it. I know why I'm doing this. This is why, and I'm on my path, and let's go. So yeah,
I got
so
that.
hopefully that helps.
It helps, it's very practical. And the part where you said,
You froze.
okay, can you hear
Oh,
me?
oh, there you are.
Okay, I think the
Not sure
network.
what
Can you
happened
hear me
there.
now?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Oh,
Okay,
much better.
okay, beautiful. So I said the part where you mentioned that motivation is like a shower, and at times you run out of it, but passion and purpose stick with you. That's a powerful reminder, and I love that. So to bring this to an end, Arthur, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those ones who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you do, maybe you said some things that resonated with them and they would like to learn more. How can that be possible?
Okay, so the one thing I guess I would love to leave people with is the fact, never stop growing. Personal development is always a great thing. Sometimes you don't know why you're doing it, and you will not see the results until 5 years down the line. The seeds that you are putting in now will show up 5 years down the line. So don't expect overnight results, returns, or changes. And as for to reach out to me, I mean, my website is maccabicapital.com. On Twitter, I'm not that active, but I'm there. It's maccabitrader.com. Yeah, Maccabi Trader. And yeah, I mean, I'm always around when people have questions. I'm more than happy to help and share and guide. So hopefully some people benefit, your listeners benefit from this because I definitely, uh,
For sure,
yeah,
for sure. Like I
fun.
mentioned earlier, before we started, I said I am convinced that I am definitely going to learn one or two things from you, and that has happened already. So thank you, man.
Uh,
Now that's going to be the end of the show. Thank you so very much, Arthur. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing these powerful and very insightful words with us. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Elijah. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.